I want to delve deeper now into the world of blockchain, and joining me here in the studio is Shermin Voshmgir, the founder of blockchainhub.net and the director of the Crypto Economics Institute at the Vienna University of Economics. Shermin, great to have you with us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Now, I've heard that you think that blockchain has the opportunity, has the potential to revolutionise the world to some extent. Explain to me how, in which areas?
We're now today talking a lot about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but it's really just the beginning and the first application of the next generation internet. Some refer to it as the decentralized web or the Web 3, which will redefine our data structures and bring more ownership of our data back to us. And it allows us to have real peer-to-peer transactions without centralized institutions who own our data. Bitcoin is money without banks and bank managers, and it's like the first application, just like email used to be the first application of the internet. Back in the 90s, a lot of people thought that email is the internet. In the early 90s, most people could not fathom what would come next.
Continuing in that vein then, can you see applications beyond the world of finance?
Yes, there are many applications and many startups actually working in this field already. For example, peer-to-peer energy trading. We already have decentralized energy production through solar production on house roofs. But if a neighbor wants to trade their energy production with another neighbor, they have to go through a centralized institution like a huge energy provider. And thanks to blockchain, they could have peer-to-peer energy trading without centralized institutions like large energy companies. But we could also have ride sharing without Uber. We could have apartment sharing without Airbnb, and we could have social networks, decentralized social networks. We already have the first one, Steemit, without a centralized party owning our data.
These are all very sunny outcomes. Like anything, there's light and shade.
Yes.
Do you see any potential for dark areas with blockchain? What are they?
Well, blockchain really is a technology. It's only a technology. It's not the solution to all of mankind's problems. I would like to stress that. It's a very powerful technology. If we do it right, we can create a universal, what I like to call freedom machine that enables us to have a peer-to-peer economy with less centralized institutions. But if we get it wrong, we could also create a universal control machine. So I think we have to look at data privacy, privacy versus transparency. In a data-driven world, who owns our data and where do we store the data, and are we in control of our digital trail? And those will be very important questions, especially in the light of decentralized technologies.
They are big questions, definitely something that I would want to know, where my data is being held, for example, who owns it. How long until we're talking about blockchain as a household name? I mean, will it just be for business people? Will I be using it in an everyday way?
The blockchain is an operating system that sits on top of the internet. I don't know, we might not be talking about blockchain. We will be using a lot of applications that build on top of it. The timeline depends on the industry, really, very much. So there are applications that will be possible next year. There are applications that depend on network effects, regulation, technology being faster, more user-friendly. And I think within the next 3 to 10 years, we will see a lot coming up. Right now, it's the early adopters who are using it.
Right. Very briefly, we talk about it circumnavigating, for example, bank systems. Where does that leave them financially? And do you want to see it do that?
I know that many banks actually are very happy to get out of the remittance business. Banks will not vanish. They will have to redefine themselves.
All right, very complex tech. It'll be really interesting to see where it goes. We thank you very much for joining us, Shermin Voshmgir. Thanks for sharing your insights.
Thank you. Thank you.